Hi guys, welcome to AndroGuider. So in this video we will be reviewing CarbonROM. So this ROM is based on the latest maintenance release of Android, which is Nougat 7.1.2. This is CarbonROM 5.1 and this is an official weekly build of the ROM for the Redmi Note 3. And the ROM also includes the June 5 2017 security patch, which is the latest security patch. And as you just saw, if you tap on the security patch level, that will open up the Android security bulletin. Okay, so moving over to carbon fibers, this is where most of the customizations of the ROM are. So first up, we have got power notifications control. You can using this, you can tweak the notification. You can tweak the notifications of various apps on how you want the notifications of a particular app to behave. So first up, you will have to enable this master switch. Power notification control is disabled by default. Although I had covered up power notification control in great depth in my review on of Lineage OS 14.1, I will still do a quick recap. So once you have enabled power notifications control, you will head over to the app you want to configure. In this case, it is AZ screen recorder, and then we will go to notifications, and you will have to tap on this A, which will then give you manual control on how the notifications of each app should behave. And then you can slide across to different levels, never show notifications from this app, no full screen interruption. And then you can select the notification level of this of your choice. And then you can also you will also get the option of overriding the do not disturb mode on the levels 3, 4 and 5. So you can choose the notification level of your choice, and that's how you can tweak your notifications for other apps as well. Okay, so yeah, moving on, then we have got the power menu settings. So these are the so from in here you can enable and disable various items which you want to be which you want to show on the lock screen, sorry, which you want to be shown in the power menu. So I will enable all the options quickly. And yeah, so this is how the power menu looks like after you have enabled all the options, and there are a lot of options in the power menu. um yeah, then if you want to disable the power menu on the lock screen, you can disable this option. And then you can also enable or disable the advanced reboot menu on the lock screen. For security purposes, you might just want to disable this option. And then we have got three animations for the power menu: AOSP one, bottom one, and the default one. This is the bottom animation. So the power menu will slide in from the bottom edge, and if you enable the top one, the power menu will slide up from the bottom edge, from the top edge, sorry. Then you can configure the dialog dim background amount in the end. Basically that's the opacity. Recent settings, you can enable or disable the clear all button. Then you can configure its location as well. We've got 6 locations to choose from. You can also enable or disable the memory bar. Then we've got immersive recents. Then if you want to use slim recents alternatively, you can enable them. And these are the settings for slim recents. You can apply a custom icon pack, expanded mode. You can configure all that stuff. Okay, I personally prefer to use the stock recent panel, so I will go ahead with that. And then in the end, you can also configure the show IME notification, or show the IME navigation bar button. Okay, then we have got the status bar settings, so you can show 4G instead of LTE. Then we have got a bunch of status bar icons you can enable or disable. Headset icon is in there, so if you want to enable that, you can do that. And additionally, you can also disable other icons which you don't wish to be shown in the status bar. Then we have got the quick settings, so you can enable or disable the brightness slider. And then we have got the advanced data tile, Wi-Fi tile, Bluetooth tile options. So very quickly, I will just tell you guys what this feature is all about. So currently, when I tap on the Wi-Fi toggle, it will open up this advanced layout, which will show me the nearby Wi-Fi networks which are in the range of my device. And from in here I can and now if I want to disable the Wi-Fi, I will have to go ahead and tap on this option. Now if you enable the advanced Wi-Fi option, when you single tap on the Wi-Fi toggle next time, it will straight away turn on the Wi-Fi. and when you single tap on it again, it will turn off the Wi-Fi. It won't take you to that advanced layout. Now if you want to head over to that advanced layout, you will have to long press on this quick setting toggle, and then it will open up that advanced layout. Then similarly you can do that for the Bluetooth tile as well as the advanced as well as for the data tile. Then we have got vibrate on touch for the quick setting toggles, and then in the end you can configure the number of tiles in number of columns in the quick settings panel, and the number of rows in both the portrait and the landscape mode. Then we have got the traffic indicators. So from here in you can enable either the outgoing traffic, incoming traffic, or both of them. You can tweak the display unit, bits per second or bytes per second, update interval, and then if you want to auto hide the network arrows when there is no data exchange going on, you can do that. Or if you just want to hide the arrows, you can also do that. I guess I will enable the Wi-Fi option, and just want to show you the hide arrows option. Okay, there we go. So yeah, so currently as you can see the arrows are being shown. Now if I just tap on that hide arrows option, you can see that the arrows are getting hidden. Okay, and or if you want to the data traffic indicators to be to get hidden automatically, then you can enable the auto hide option, and using inactivity threshold you can configure at uh, what you can configure the threshold. So if so in this case, if the data rate exchange is below 47 kbs per second, then the network traffic indicators will be hidden automatically. Then we've got the clock settings. You can show the seconds if you want to. Clock style, you can configure the alignment of the clock, right, center, or left, or you can just hide it. Then we have got the AM/PM style, normal, small, a lot of options. This is the small one. Then date, if you want to show the date. Now we've got similar font options for the date as well. Date style, normal, lowercase, or uppercase. You can tweak all that stuff. And then we have got a lot of date formats to choose from. And still if you want to, if you are still not satisfied with the options which you have, you can even enter a custom Java format. Then we have got the battery icon settings. You can configure the battery icon. This is the portrait icon. Then we have the landscape icon. This is the circle one. This is the solid one. Or if you just want to have the text, you can have that. Then battery percentage, show it inside the icon, next to the icon, or just hide it. Then you can also configure the battery, the status, the icon, color of the battery icon when your device is plugged in and is charging. So we have got a nice color picker in here. You can enter a custom hex color code, or you can select any color from these preset values, and then you can also select any color of your choice from this color panel. And if you want to define a particular shade of that color, then you can tap in different regions here and choose the shade of your choice. I'll just simply pick green. And then if you want the status bar, battery charging percent, if you want that to be shown inside the icon while charging, then you can enable this option. Then if you want to customize the charging symbol, flash or tilt, you can do that. Just show you guys this option. Okay, so I have plugged in my device into a charger, and now if you just want to check out this flash, this is the flash symbol, and this is the tilt symbol. Okay, and if you want to disable them, then you can do that. But just make a note here that you can currently see this charging animation being shown in both the quick settings, in the battery icon in the quick settings panel, as well as in the status bar icon of in the status bar battery icon. Now if you enable this uh, charging symbol, then that animation will won't be shown in the quick setting toggle as well as in the battery icon, because we are using that charging symbol. So this is just a really very small thing, but just make a note of that. Okay. Then we have got header settings. So from here in you can disable various header items. These are the header items we are talking about. So you can hide the settings shortcut, edit icon, multi-user switch, expand indicator, and once I have hidden all of them, this is how it looks like. And then if you want to put the date and time in the center, you can enable this option, and there we go. We have got we get date and time in the center. I personally prefer to have it if I am using the if I'm aligning the data and time in the center. I will prefer to have uh, I will prefer to have all the other header items disabled, because if I enable all of them again, it will just appear a bit clogged up. It will just clog up the header region, and it just doesn't look that good. I'll just enable this. So yeah, as you can see, it looks a bit clogged up. So just to avoid that, I prefer to have all of them disabled instead. Then if you want, you can use a custom header image, and we have got two header providers, dynamic and static. So the difference between the two is that dynamic header images are like time contextual headers which change throughout the day, and static header images on the other hand, they remain constant throughout the day. So uh, uh, by default, dynamic header images are selected, and we have got these header image packs to choose from. We'll just take a quick look at all the header header images in all the packs. So as I had mentioned in dynamic header images, we will be having these are like time contextual headers, and we will be having different header images for different times of the day. So you can see that we have got different images for the morning, noon, afternoon, sunset, night, Christmas, New Year's Eve. So different header images for different times of the day. Similarly, we have got carbon designs, nature, bunch of options in here. And then this is the random nature one. So the random nature one, what this option does is that whenever you slide into the quick settings panel, uh, the your phone will automatically pick any header image to be from this header image pack. It will randomly pick any header image, and that will be set in the background of as the quick settings header, that will be set in the background of the quick settings header. Okay. And then we have got the poly header images. Again, different options for different header packs, and this is I think this was designed particularly for OmniROM, the header pack by side. And then we have got the wavy header image pack, and again, as you can see, different header images for different times of the day. And you can also configure the shadow header image. And now if you want to set um, any particular header image as a static header, then all you need to do is head over to the image you want to set as the static header image, and then simply just long press on it, and there you can see it is now set as the static header image. Then you can, in the end, you can configure the carrier label. You can tweak its location, lock screen, status bar, or both of them, and then you can even enter a custom text for the carrier label. Status bar settings, oh sorry, we have already covered this up. Yeah, moving on to buttons. First up, we have got the advanced buttons option. So from here in, you can enable or disable the on-screen navigation bar. So I'll just disable them for a moment so that we can take a look at the hardware key settings which we have. So from here in, you can configure the long press and the double tap actions for the three hardware keys which we have. So we will just take a look at the actions which from which you can choose from, and these are the options which we have. So a bunch of options, and we have got the same options for each and uh, every option. You will be getting the same set of actions for each option. I will just go ahead and enable the on-screen navigation bar, but just make a note here that you can't customize the long press and the double tap actions of the on-screen navigation bar buttons. Only if you have a device with the hardware keys, maybe a Samsung device or a OnePlus device or a Xiaomi device. Only then you will be able to use these hardware keys, these hardware key actions. Then if you want to enable or disable the pixel home animation, you can do that. This is the pixel home animation, and this pixel home animation only works for the home key, not for the back and the recent key. Then you can edit the navigation bar buttons. I had done a detailed explanation on how the navigation bar tuner works and on how you can use it. So if you want to learn more on how to use the nav bar tuner, I will have a link down below in the description box of the review I had done of Lineage OS 14.1. I had covered the navigation bar tutorial in great depth there. So just refer to that. And you will get to know more about on how you can use the navigation bar tuner. Then we have got the volume down for the do not disturb mode, volume up in do not disturb mode. So basically what this does is when you reach the minimum value of the notification volume, it will automatically enter the do not disturb mode, and then when you move up increase the when you increase the notification volume, it will exit the do not disturb mode. And then additionally, if you want the do not disturb switch to be shown in the status bar in the volume dialog box, you can just simply enable this option. Then we have got the volume rocker. Okay, so just make sure that you don't conflict this option, the volume up and do not disturb mode with the volume keys control media volume, because then your notification volumes won't be tweaked, but instead your media volume will be tweaked. So your media volume will be decreased, but your ring volume or your other volumes, your notification volume won't be changed. So just make sure that you don't enable this option if you plan to use these two options. Okay, then you can also use your volume keys to wake up your device. Playback control is in there. So, rotate the swap the volume keys when the device is rotated. You can configure all that stuff. And then for volume steps, we can configure the ring notification ringer, media and music, alarm, in call voice, and we have got a minimum value of 5 and the maximum value of 30. Okay, moving on, then we have got the light settings. You can configure the battery light, pulse if battery is low. Then notification light is in there as well, so you can tweak all that stuff. Then we have got the lock screen settings. You can use the lock screen torch, scramble the pin on a secure lock screen. This option just comes in handy at times if if you want to just if someone is trying to access unlock your phone, then you can enable this option just to make it a bit more tedious for them to unlock your device. And at times, if you enable this option, it will become tedious for yourself to unlock your phone. Yeah, then we have got the lock screen battery info. Just if you want to just quickly check the battery info, this is how it is being shown. uh, the you can see the voltage and the battery temperature. Then we have got the gesture settings. You can enable or disable the double tap to sleep on the status bar, double tap to sleep on the lock screen, and press the power device to launch the camera. Then we have got the miscellaneous tweaks, toast icon, scrolling cache, and then you can configure the screenshot type, full screen screenshots or partial screenshots, and then you can also set the screenshot delay. Uh, Privacy tweaks, we have got hide apps from the recent section. If you want to hide any apps from the recent section, just for a quick example, let's add the dialer app in the recent section. Okay, and now you see, you open up the dialer, and now when we view it in the recent panel, you can't just see the dialer app because it has been hidden. Okay, and another thing which I okay, yeah, okay, anyway, yeah, so moving on, then we have got the privacy setting. Yeah, we have covered them up. Yeah, in the end, we have got the display tweaks. We have got this settings dashboard columns. You can tweak all that stuff. And then in the end, we have got a bunch of blur settings. So I'll just quickly cover these up. So you know uh, okay, so let us start with the blur scale and the blur radius. So if you want to know what blur scale and what blur radius do specifically, if you want to get into the potatoes and meat of blur scale and blur radius, and if you just want to get into all their depth and know what they do exactly, then I will have a link down below in the description box for an article of a Wikipedia article on Gaussian blurring. Yeah, it was something like that. So they have explained what blur scale and blur radius are all about, and that it's pretty complicated, I would say. So blur radius, it actually averages the but it starts from the center, and then it takes an average of the adjacent pixels, and that's how it blurs something. Okay, anyway, I don't know, it's pretty complicated stuff. If you want to go and read that, I will have a link below in the description box for that Wikipedia article. Anyway, so the blur scale and the blur radius, if you want to tweak all that, we will start with the by putting the blur scale to minimum and the blur radius to minimum. So now you can see, basically it is like the blur isn't into any effect right now. So I will increase the blur scale now, and now you can see, that just make a note here that the text has been blurred a bit, and In fact, the images haven't been blurred that much, but the screen text has been blurred a bit. In fact, the images, the AndroGuider logo, which you can see here, that has been blurred a bit as well. So we can say that the images are also being blurred to a certain extent. Now when I minimize the blur scale and increase the blur radius, now you can see that that the general opacity of the screen, or the general background has been blurred, and you can actually make out that the text hasn't been blurred that much. So basically that's how I put it, at least in my understanding. Blur scale is for blurring the text and the images on the screen, and the blur radius, it blurs the background of the screen, right? uh, okay, even though I might not be that correct about this, but at least that's how I understand things. And you can play around with the different values of the blur scale and the blur radius until you reach a combination of the values of your choice. So you can tweak all the stuff around, increase or decrease blur radius, so um, if you just put a minimum value, you will be I think I would suggest you to play around with the values under 10 for both the blur scale and the blur radius, and you should be able to get a suitable combination. Then you can also blur the quick settings panel background. You can blur that as well. You can configure that translucency level and blur the recent tab section as well. Then lastly, I will just do a I will quickly explain you on what the light image, dark image, and the mixed image color filters are. So these are okay. So it will be better if I just choose some colors and then explain to you on what these color filters do exactly. So currently, as you can see, we have got a dark image background, black. It's kind of a dark shade, right? Obviously it is dark, right? So now when I go to the recents panel, you can see that we have got a green color filter, right? And in here you can see that we have got a dark image color filter set as green. So the green color filter will be applied on images with dark backgrounds. Similarly, uh, on images with light backgrounds, the red color will be applied. This is white, it's a light color, right? And on images with the mixed colors, with both the dark and the light shade, the blue color will be applied. So I hope you were able to get an idea on how these image color filters work. So you can tweak those values to suit you. But I am actually myself satisfied with the stock value, so I don't play around with them that much. But if you want to, you can do that. That's all for the display settings. And then we also have this home supports the Substratum theme engine. Yeah, so you can go out on the Play Store, and you will be able to find a bunch of Substratum themes, and you can use them on CarbonROM. So well, again, I'll just disable this, and we'll go to the settings menu again. Oh, okay, we had disabled the settings menu, right? Okay, so moving back, then we have got the display settings. You can night light is in there, sleep time mode settings. The maximum limit is 30 minutes, and the minimum is 15 seconds. Font size, display size, you can tweak all that stuff. And then in the end, we have got the 180 degrees rotation here. Then sound settings. Mm, you can link the ring and the notification volume if you want to, or just unlink them. Um, and under other sounds, we have got the dial pad tones, screenshot sounds, screen locking sounds, charging sounds, volume adjustment sounds, touch sounds, and vibrate on tap. Then under battery settings, we have got nothing here. Okay, so you can enable or disable the battery saver automatically, since this ROM is based on USB. And you will be able to enable the battery saver only when your device is not plugged in into a charger. So when I will disable the charger, only then my device will be able to enable the battery saver. And you can also enable the battery saver automatically, by selecting any percentage value here. So say if I have selected 15% now, so now when my device's battery level drops down to 15%, the battery saver will be enabled automatically. Okay, then users. Okay, so this is something which I make sure I mention in each of my Nougat ROM reviews. So if you um, go ahead and install any Nougat based ROM. Just make sure that you enter the emergency info here, the info and the contacts. um, the reason why I says this is because this emergency information can be accessed even on a secured lock screen. So no matter if you are using a pin, password, or a pattern lock, someone if god forbid, if you ever run into any mishap or if something happens to you, then if someone tries to access your phone to contact your loved ones and inform them, then they will be able to view this emergency information on a secured lock screen, and they will then be able to contact your loved ones. Okay, so just make a note of that. You fill up this emergency information. Then we have got the ambient display settings. So you can enable or disable ambient display, and then you can choose when should ambient display kick in, when you pick up the device or do a hand wave over the proximity sensor or take out the device from your pocket, all that stuff. um Security settings, we've got there is no option for customizing the grid size of the pattern lock, and under settings you can tweak the lock screen message. Unknown sources not enabled by default, so if you plan to sideload any apps, make sure you enable unknown sources. uh, and then app ops, again I have already done a great in-depth tutorial on how you can use app ops as a tool to combat malicious apps, as well as a tool on as well as a battery saving tool. I will be having a link down below in the description box for that tutorial. If you want to learn more about app ops, just make sure you check that out. And then in the end we've got the developer options. So we've got the cool color temperature, so if you want cooler display colors, enable this option. Android debugging, just if you and for the color changes to be applicable, you will have to turn on and off the screen, just do that. And yeah, Android debugging, enable this option if you plan to restore your apps using titanium backup. Then you can set a mock location app. Force authorize every theme app. If you are running a beta build of Substratum, make sure you enable this option. Wi-Fi settings, silver data settings. Then you have got the animation settings, and by customizing the smallest width attribute, you will be able to tweak the uh, DPI of your device, the LCD density. Then we have got the GPU settings. And yeah, in the end we have got you can force your apps on your device to use the external SD card storage for storing their data. And then in the by force activities to be resizable, if you want all the apps to be resizable for the split screen mode, just enable that option. And well uh, uh, the ROM has its own OT updater built in, and you will be able to check for updates. You can configure that frequency, bi-weekly, monthly, daily, and then delete, download, system info. You will be able to tweak all that stuff. And uh, vanilla music, so this is the inbuilt music player which we have, and uh, uh, it allows you to view your songs as per the artists, albums, tracks, playlists, genres. You can files. So well, a lot of options in here, and just go up, uh, and this is the now playing section. Yes, yeah, now playing settings. You can show the queue, home directory, sort by. We'll just go ahead and check out the settings. So this ROM has this music player. It's a really very customizable music player. There are a lot of options in here. Equalizer, you can use that to tweak the audio output. Replay gain, uh, volume during notifications, headset. Again, there are a lot of options in here, and you will actually have to take time. This is one of those music players which is highly customizable. Then playback screen, you can configure a bunch of stuff. Library screen, a lot of options. Even gapless playback is in there. It's somewhere there down. And then notification mode, show when playing, always show, never show. um, Accelerometer shake, again this is very very nice. So when you shake your device, what do you want to happen? Do you want to move over to the next track, previous track, or just if you want to forward 10 seconds, rewind 10 seconds, you can configure all that stuff. And the shake force threshold, you can tweak all that stuff. Cover art, um miscellaneous features, double tap widget, keep screen on. Yeah, so a lot of options in here actually. Media library, you can tweak all that stuff. I guess gapless playback was in there. I guess I missed it somewhere, but I did see that option. uh, okay. Okay, I might not be able to find it right now, but well, that option was in there, for sure. um well, anyway, I won't be wasting your precious time anymore and in pursuit of that feature. uh yeah, so, and lastly, you can also customize the theme. Standard theme, you can select the standard theme, dark, standard, grayish, so you can tweak all the various aspects of this music player. This is That's how uh, rich this music player is in terms of customizations. And uh, okay, let's take a look. We have got this search widget if you want to search on Google. Then we have got the inbuilt gallery application, and Snapdragon camera, that is the camera. And then you can view your albums, uh, location, times, by all that stuff. You can sort your gallery by all that stuff. And the inbuilt uh, there is an inbuilt editor, image editor in the gallery application. And just a quick look at the options which we get by from that three dotted menu. These are the options: slideshow, rotate right, rotate left, crop the image, details, all that. And then you can configure the image filters, add a frame, crop the image, change the exposure values, and do all that stuff. So a bunch of options in here. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the gallery application. I guess we are pretty much done. Yeah, we'll just take a quick look at the browser. And well, this is a great web browser out there. And well, currently I'm not connected to my Wi-Fi. I guess we had a power cut now. Yeah, so well, I won't be able to actually show you guys the Wi-Fi, the browser. I actually want to show you guys how great this web browser looks when you are browsing across pages on Twitter, Google. Because when you will load up google.com, it will have that yellow color in the status bar, and the yellow color in the navigation bar as well, and in this address bar. So okay, well, looks like power is back finally. Okay, till then, before, just wait for my Wi-Fi router to switch back on, and then I will be able to show you guys the feature I want to okay. Yeah, so you can see my phone is charging back again, so power is back. Till then, I will just cover up a couple of features. We have this, although we don't know what the stock launcher is. It allows the home screen rotation, and you can enable or disable that search bar. But it does have two options to swipe down to access the notifications panel, and it also has double tap to sleep. Okay, so these are the two great options which we have. And now you can see that Wi-Fi is still not working fine properly. Okay, we'll just wait for a couple of moments. Then wallpapers, the ROM doesn't have any live wallpaper, so you will have to download your own wallpapers and set them. Then widgets, these are the options which we have. We have got a search widget as well, and we've got a bunch of widgets for the vanilla music player. uh, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it, and I hope I gave you guys an idea on what we have in the quick settings panel. So okay, these are the quick setting tiles which are enabled by default, and these are the ones which you can add on. Okay, so a lot of options in here. I guess I had covered these up, or maybe not. We also have this open in new tab browser. That is the jelly browser which we are talking about. um, I will just quickly go ahead and see what's wrong with my Wi-Fi router. Okay, yeah, I will just pause this video for a few moments, and then I will just see. I will get the Wi-Fi working, and I'll give you guys a look into what the Jelly browser has to offer. Well, okay, so I finally got my net connection working, and and have opened up google.com right now. So what we are now seeing is that you can see this yellow color right up on the status bar, and then similarly in the address bar as well as in the navigation bar. So that is all just as I had mentioned, that is all. These are just really very small things which actually add up in enriching the overall experience of uh, of your ROM usage. So you will be getting similar the this yellow color. Now if you are using some website like Twitter or Facebook, I'll just try and quickly open up Twitter. um, you know Go to Twitter, and from there I just want to give you guys an idea, actually. And then you can also view that progress bar, this progress bar on just above the Twitter address. This way you can view that progress bar. Yeah, and well, as I just mentioned, this you will be I will just pause this video till the page loads up. Well, okay, the page did load up, and now again, as you can see, the primary color of the app, it is this blue background, and then we have got the blue background as in the address bar as well as in the navigation bar. So the site just looks fabulous, and the whole your experience now of using the web browser, of using the Jelly browser, it's just amazing now. So these are the small things which I wanted to point out. And in fact, when you or even load up our blog, you will be able to get a similar experience. Um, this in fact, now I'll just quickly get into the settings which Jelly browser has to offer. You can tweak the search engine, Baidu, Bing. You can configure all that. Homepage, advanced share, look lock is in there. We also have an inbuilt ad blocker, and then you can also enable or disable the JavaScript, location, cookies, clear cookies, default to incognito. You can tweak all that stuff, and add to favorite, share history, add shortcut, switch desktop site, switch to night mode. So the night mode, it isn't not that great. It will not change the night mode won't change the screen background to black, or the web page background to black or something like that. It will just change the address bar color to black, and just makes a couple of other changes, but it isn't that useful. So yeah, these are a couple of changes which we have in uh, which we had in a recent update to Jelly browser. And so yeah, this is definitely a solid ROM out there. And for the Redmi Note 3 users out there, I just had a couple of bug fixes. There were a couple of bugs in the ROM. So when you are flashing the ROM, you will have to use a custom kernel, because at least for me, at least in my case, the ROM did not boot up when I tried using the stock kernel. When I clean flashed the ROM, it got stuck in a boot loop, and I had to flash a custom kernel to get the ROM to boot up. And apart from that, there were not apart from that, the ROM is absolutely stable. The very fact that you are not seeing any emergency calls, you aren't seeing any you are seeing that you are not seeing any signal levels uh, in here. That is because the network signal reception is really very bad in my area right now. So I have been moving across different regions on my house just to get that particular great signal level. So there isn't any problem with the ROM at all. The ROM is fine. It works great. It is stable. It has a great battery backup, and I have been using it since the last few hours. Okay. Yeah, so this pretty much sums up this video. I guess we are done. So yeah, in case you like the video, hit that like button, and in case you want to get a notification whenever we upload our future videos through this channel, then do subscribe to us as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day. Take care, and we will catch you guys in the next one.